What is up, YouTube? I am Eric and you are watching Retro Video Game Pickups. Today we are talking about the Yok SNES wireless controller. So if you like games, consoles, or product reviews, please consider subscribing. So let's hop into it. So as you can tell, this channel is all about Nintendo. Now I have a bunch of other videos about Sega or Sony or Xbox, whatever it is, but the majority of the quality content on here is about Nintendo. So with that being said, I decided I would look into a third-party controller that works with the SNES Classic, which is really cool because it's wireless and you're not stuck to that 4 or 5 foot cord, whatever it is. But there's some good things about it, there's some bad things about it, and I just want to go over that with you today. So let's hop into it. So first off, the Yok controller I got was red, and it comes with a little dongle that plugs in, and that's how you get the wireless functionality. Now it does take 2 AAA batteries in the back here, but overall it's a lot smaller than the SNES controller, as you could probably tell. Now I will compare them later on, but the L and the R button, if you can hear that, are really clicky, so that's questionable. The D-pad is this weird stick thing. It's very odd. It does have your start and select buttons, and then your A, B, your X, Y buttons, obviously. And it has a turbo and then an automatic switch for each one of your buttons, whether it's the A, B, the X, or the Y, or the L and the R. Now, this controller is a lot smaller than your SNES Classic controller. So if you could see that, it's not a lot smaller, but it is fairly shorter and fairly not as wide. So if you are looking for a controller that feels like the SNES controller, this isn't a good one for that. It feels like a relatively cheap controller. I feel like if I get mad and throw this down, I'll break it once. I probably could snap it, but we're not gonna do that. This is a really cheap controller. I wanna say it was under 20 bucks, so that's alright. That probably makes up for its cheapness, I think. I do not like this D-pad at all. The buttons are alright. They're not concave at all on the X and the Y button, which is a little lame, but overall, it's an alright controller. Now, would I use this for a first-person controller? No. Would I use it for a second controller? Maybe. I'd definitely use it as like a backup to my second controller because it's wireless. That's cool about it, but it's not really all that comfortable, and it feels a little bit too clicky and clacky, so I'm not a big fan of that. So if you want to spend under $20, this is probably a good option, but if you can, I say go out and pick up an SNES Classic controller because that is definitely not only the best feel, but it also works the best. So with that being said, let me know what you think about this. Comment below in the comments and say what you think about it. Now I will link in the description as well the link to it on Amazon. That's a cheap controller. I feel like if you're looking for a cheap controller to go with your SNES Classic, I think this is a good one for that. But if it was my taste, I would prefer the wired actual SNES Classic controller because it is so much more comfortable. But overall, it's an alright controller. I think there's definitely places where it could definitely shine. The D-pad just sucks. It's not even really a D-pad if you look at it. It's basically like an analog stick with a D-pad on top of it, which is kind of weird. I feel like your angles would be weird, and the potential of hitting other buttons would definitely make it go weird directions. So I almost want to say pass on this, but if you're looking for a really cheap controller, I think it'll do its job, but it's not going to be a really great controller. With that being said, don't forget about Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or Big Cartel. Now, thank you for watching. If you like this, below, go ahead and comment. If there's anything else you want to see me review, also let me know. But with that being said, don't forget to like and subscribe, and while you're at it, hit that bell notification.